Chill out, what you yelling for? Lay back, it's all been done before. And if you would only let it be, you will see I like you the way you are. When we're driving in your car, and when you're talking to me one-on-one, I think that's how it goes. And you become somebody else, round everyone else, watching your back like you can't relax, trying to be cool. You look like a fool to me. Tell me why'd you have to go and make things so complicated? I see the way you acting like you're somebody else. It gets me frustrated. Everybody, nights like this, you crawl and you fall and you take and you break with, I don't know, what you turn it into. Honestly, I promise me I'm never gonna find you later. No. Listen, don't act like you don't know. All right. Let's just, everybody relax, okay? Because if you were not able to sing along with that little ditty, I question your musical tastes. I'm wondering how old you are. And regardless of how old you are, why are you... Listen, everything that comes out of Canada is the shit. And that includes that artist, Avril Lavigne. That's right, Avril the fuck Lavigne. Say her name and know it, okay? Avril the Lavigne. You don't know that? Tell me, why'd you have to go and make things so complicated? Isn't that like a bop? That's a bop. Whatever, y'all. Anyway, you are listening to A Seat at the Table podcast. Yes, consistency is key. Don't roll your eyes at me. I've come back for another week. You know what? Let me tell y'all a little story. Okay, first of all, my name is Gail. I'm just assuming this is not your first time listening, because if it is, this is going to be a little bit of a rough go at it. You could find us on Instagram, which honestly, you guys, I fucking suck at this social media shit. Because you know what it is? I'm on my phone, but a lot of times I'm not a big picture taker, and I try to like stay in the present moment. And I know that if I'm just worried about capturing the moment, I'm not truly enjoying or listening or anything that involves any other kind of presence. You know what I mean? Like, people say to you that they can do two things at once, but something is not receiving equal attention. So, I try not to do too much of that shit, that social media shit, but I know as it pertains to the show, I probably should be doing more. Yeah. All right. Anyways, you know who I am, bitch. Okay? Bitch. Oh, listen, have you guys been listening to Meg Thee Stallion? If you haven't, oh man, all right. My name is Hot Bitch Gail for 2019, okay? That's just what it is. Sorry about that. That is my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. Where are those people at? Who was that group? They call me Keisha, maybe Monica. That's a nice song. What, Tegan? Was that their name? They had that song. That's not my name. That's not my name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't look at me like, oh, they smoky, they high. No, okay. Whatever. Anyways. So, welcome. Yes, I'm just burning a little sage for our ceremony. Yes, I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited to talk to you. How was your work week? Listen, let me tell you something. You know what I realized about work? Is that there are, and I don't even think that is just a work thing. I think that this is just people's personality. I think that there's some people who really can't handle high pressure situations. And, some of the way that they choose to handle it varies, obviously, because people are different, like snowflakes. And, and there are some people, I don't know if you've ever worked in this environment or with this person that, like, they will compound the pressure to you. Like, oh my God, let me tell you what's going on. How, like, I don't know. I can't explain it, but I I work with a personality that really loves to like put the rub in on me as far as like all of the things that are needing to be done and the pressure of that situation and how much it'll actually take. And like, if they see that it's raining, they will want to make it pour. Like, oh, and this and that. And they do it not just in acknowledgement of, the things that have to be done, but they do it because they want to see me stressed out. Does that make sense? I don't know. But, listen, I do know that some of that obviously has to be about me and the way, and, situations showing me, if I'm going to be honest with myself, situations showing me, because, life is just a mirror. So obviously the way that I've handled high pressure situations in the past, I don't necessarily think worked for me in the sense of like just being a great manager or even an employee. Like, just the response to high pressure has to be acknowledged. So you have to be present for something like that. So I think that that's what this situation is presenting to me. Not that I just work with this person who's trying to compound me, but what is it for me? Like, what am I supposed to learn? So that's what I'm getting, is that I'm supposed to learn that my response to this doesn't have to be, like the world is coming to a complete end and everything's frying around us. We get to do what we can do in the time that we're allotted. And I think that that's, besides just being a better manager, because that's just a role, I think just as a person, it is good to not put yourself under those weird guises or expectations where like, I don't know. It's like, I guess we're having a pull up right at the very top. All right, fine. Let's just do it. Whatever. I mean, because you and I, we don't get to talk throughout the week. So like, I think that like sometimes you just want a moment to like have that woosah conversation with someone who gets it. Like, shout out to all of you who are not going to work, but that doesn't mean that these issues aren't plaguing you as well. I don't even think that it's a work thing. I think that sometimes we just have to acknowledge when we are involved in situations, it's not just what is happening to us, but what is life trying to show us? Like, what is it that we need to probably acknowledge about the not just where we're at, but how we got there, and do you need to acknowledge some things about yourself? And I mean, yeah, absolutely. I said it last week, like I'm wrong a lot of the time. I was going to say all the time, but like, no, but like a lot of times I am wrong. And I mean, you can't, funny enough. Okay. Here's a funny story. I have a family member who got into, and I'm going to just tell the story because presumably they're never going to listen, but who got into an accident and they were in the car with another family member, and it's skewed towards the reason why the accident happened is because the passenger frightened the driver, and, that is the cause of the accident, and I don't know. Like the whole idea of just not being able to be accountable for when you are involved in something that happens is just like, you're not always right. And it's okay. That's why the shit is called an accident. It's not even about, a lot of times, who's right or wrong, especially if it is a situation that like, blind spots happen, or, you're in a single car accident by yourself. I don't know. I guess I'm just saying that like, it's so crazy to me that like, even in this person's like elderly age, and they're not like elderly from the standpoint of like 100, but like, they're older, that like, they still haven't learned the lesson that like, you don't always have to be right. Like the chances are is that they will probably leave this earthly form not really having the pressure relieved from them to know that they don't always have to be right. And that's okay. It's such a dangerous message to like send your kids, even that they always have to know, that they always have to be right. Because basically what you're setting someone up for in the future is that they can never be wrong. You know, I don't know. That's just my silly little thought, you know. So, you know, since we're already here at the pull up, we will get to the shenanigans, the whole circle of life after this. But you guys, okay, so here I am on one of these dirty girl apps, Hinged, Unhinged, whatever. I don't know. Ever since, you know, that young woman got killed, from the tenderoni killer, bitch, you'll be hard pressed to find me anywhere near a tender. But, you know, I don't know. I just feel like all those apps are dirty girl apps anyway, because I mean, truthfully, am I going to meet the love of my life on an app? I don't know. For you girls who have, and for you gentle whores who have, good on ya. You know, proud of ya. That was just your destiny anyway. So good. That is fantastic. I don't necessarily know that that's what the cards will have aligned for me. I don't know. Everything about it is so weird. And I did not know that these niggas was still out here asking bitches for pictures. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing. Y'all are still asking girls for pictures? Like, stop this. Stop this. Stop this right now. No, no, no. Is this, because I know that this is something that happens on all the dirty girl apps. Hey to my friends, happy Pride Month is here. To the alphabet gang, we celebrate you and we see you. Okay? Yes. Did y'all like that song? Yes, June is Pride Month in America. Did you guys see that your president tweeted some good tidings and comforts of joy to the community? Listen. Okay, let's just progress past that. But I'm so excited for Pride Month. This is a celebratory month, and I learned something. I know we're just skipping around, but I learned something on this week's episode of Living Loud. I believe Vic was saying that the LGBTQ, and in some circles IA communities, the T should not be considered as part of the same situation, because the T is talking about a gender role while the rest are referring to sexuality. Does that make sense? And I hope, I don't know, I don't want to say that I'm like, I am paraphrasing it, because I don't believe that that is the exact vernacular that he used. But basically, I never thought about that before. And the T obviously refers to the trans community. Because I guess the understanding is that you cannot be trans in your sexuality, your actual sexuality. You can be trans in your gender identity. The more you know. Did you feel that? My head just got bigger. Fold. Thank you. If you haven't heard this week's episode, it was called Borica Morena. And it was very interesting. I was actually talking back to you guys because and if you haven't listened to the show, I think that the gist of it for this week was that, you know, regardless of actual skin complexion, you know, racial identity, and then versus ethnicity is, and, you know, colorism within racial groups, and, you know, how that affects racial groups and what have you. It was very interesting. What I will say is that as a Black woman, I think that, you know, no one ever really wants to talk about the privilege that is experienced from being a Afro-Latina or a Latina lighter skin complected who could probably be more identified with the Hispanic